One of my most anticipated movies of 2025, Sinners, has finally hit theaters. So today I'm going to give not my first review, but my first thoughts on first viewings of the film, because I am going to go see it again tomorrow in IMAX. So this is my thoughts on the first viewing, but as I'll say later in the video, this is a film that I definitely do need a second viewing before I can fully give my thoughts. So yes, this will be a second viewing. I'm going to have a spoiler review after the second viewing later this week, where I'm going to talk spoilers on it, kind of giving my thoughts after that, because unfortunately I didn't love it like a lot of other people did, but we'll talk my feelings here in a few seconds. But before I get started, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below what is your opinions on the movie Sinners. Are you loving it like everybody else? Were you a tad bit disappointed with the movie? And with that said, let's dive right in to talking about Sinners. Now, I was very excited for this movie. I think Ryan Coogler is a really good director. I mean, Creed, the two Black Panther movies, all really good. Haven't seen Fruitvale Station, but I do plan on watching it very soon. But I think he's a very talented director. I love vampire movies. I love horror movies. The trailer, the first trailer, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but the second trailer, the full trailer, was awesome. I mean, so many moments in that trailer that just made me go, whoa, that looks awesome. I can't wait for that. So, I mean, I was in Tennessee this past week, and I had to literally convince my dad and brother to go see a screening of Sinners, the earliest one we could, because I could not wait to watch this film. And I liked it. I liked the movie a lot. But like I said in the intro, I do need a second viewing to fully say if I love the movie, or if it's just one of those movies that I was just a tad bit disappointed by and don't overwhelmingly love it like everybody else. Some of the good things about this movie, the cast is incredible in this film. You get Michael B. Jordan, he's playing the twins in here. Both twins, Smoke and Stack. Michael B. Jordan has been in every movie directed, well, not every movie. The only movie he hasn't been in has been Black Panther 2. But, I mean, he was in almost every movie that Ryan Coogler has made, and he's a phenomenal actor. He's amazing in this movie. He is just a character with so much charisma. He's able to take two very different characters that are going to have each separate character arcs in the film, and flesh them out. They feel like real characters. They don't feel like it's the same guy playing playing the same character. Feels like two completely different characters with each of their same arcs. And I thought that was really, really cool in here. Haley Steinfeld was a pretty big name that is going to be in this movie, and she was phenomenal in here. What they did with her character from the very beginning of the movie, I thought was really effective and really, really did work. But one of the biggest standouts here was Miles Catton, and this was his first movie that he's ever been in. He plays Sammy, who, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but when you watch the movie, he has such a big part to play, and he was phenomenal in here. He was amazing. I genuinely didn't think about his performance during the entire film. Leaving the movie, I was just like, yeah, great movie. The big performance here was Michael B. Jordan. But the more I think about it, the more I think Miles Catton completely stole the show. I think Miles Catton was incredible in here, and probably the best one out of all these actors and actresses. Along the same technical lines, Ryan Coogler is a fantastic director. He directs this film really, really perfectly. I mean, everything he wanted to do is directed great. The cinematography, there are some very beautiful shots in this movie, specifically with the vampires and the gore and stuff. Everything, all the crazy stuff, you can totally see what's happening the entire time. And it's just really credit to how good Ryan Coogler was. I rewatched Creed last night for a Ryan Coogler Movies Ranked video that is going to be coming this week. And I've just noticed that Coogler just has so much style in every movie. He brings his own unique taste to every movie he directs, and this one is no different. He directs this one perfectly. The first half is probably the best first half that I've seen all the decade. I mean, it's phenomenal. From the get-go, you're invested in these characters. You want to know more about these characters. Their character arcs are very interesting, and it's just such an investing first half. It's a lot of talking for the first hour of the movie, and there was never a sequence where I was bored. There's never a sequence where I was like, okay, let's get to the vampire stuff. This was a movie that the stuff that's not about the vampires are more compelling than the stuff that are actually about the vampires. I was so interested in this first half. I think it was phenomenal, and I could not wait to get to the vampire stuff to see how it could elaborate, and we'll talk about that in here in a few minutes. There is some awesome vampire stuff. There's not a whole lot of awesome vampire stuff. It's not like the best vampire movie I've ever seen, but there is some great things. This is a movie that as soon as I left the theater, I instantly knew I had to go rewatch but it felt a little bit disappointing. But thinking more about the movie, the things that I remember are the movie's cool vampire stuff, the creepy stuff, the performances by everybody else, especially the vampires and how they were so creepy, the cool vampire stuff and cool vampire lore that Ryan Coogler brings to the film. It's a unique vampire film while also staying true to the vampire stuff. And not to spoil it, but there are some pretty awesome sequences in here that when I go see the movie tomorrow in actually less than 24 hours, I am very excited to get to see these sequences again. The theater I saw it at was kind of a disappointing theater. I didn't like the theater that much. It was kind of like a tiny little theater with a tiny little screen. The seats weren't that comfortable. So I'm going to go see it in IMAX the way that this movie is designed to be seen. And so that's the way I'm going to see this movie. And I'm excited to see all the vampire stuff on the big screen with that. A cast member I forgot to mention, freaking Jack O'Connell. He was incredible in here. He plays this vampire, the villain of the movie, pretty perfectly. I mean, he had the creepy moments. He had the moments that make you say, oh, that's really creepy. And the stuff that he did were really, really cool in the movie. Not to spoil anything, I think he was phenomenal in this movie as well. And a very underrated guy that I don't see many people talking about on social media. I think Jack O'Connell was incredible. And now let's talk about the flip side of things. The things that I don't have in the great section. Because like I mentioned, everything I've talked about so far has been great in the movie. Except the awesome vampire stuff. I'll talk about that in just a second. I don't even have a negative section written down. This is a mixed section. Now, yes, I am going to explain that. I am not possessed. Talking about this movie does not make you possessed. Yes, I am sick. Yes, I edited out a part where I was coughing, and I guess the cough made my nose start to bleed. I'm not possessed. This movie does not make you possessed just because it's titled Sinners. Okay, Karens, you can calm down. Now, I'll talk more about if I have a negative section, or if there's things that I really didn't like, or if this is just a first initial reaction, and I'm going to end up loving these things later when I see the movie tomorrow. All that'll be talked in spoiler review. I'm not even going to talk about a score. I'm not even going to score this movie at the end of this video, just because I need to watch it again before I give a final score. I don't want to end up giving it like a B+, and then watch tomorrow and say, oh wait, that's stuff that I wasn't the biggest fan of. I loved. This is an A+ movie. So I'm going to give a score when I do the spoiler review. The second half is kind of mixed for me. Like I said, there's so many cool vampire stuff. The vampire himself and Jack O'Connell is incredible, and all the vampires are cool. There's gore, there's fight scenes with it. I was never fully compelled. There's cool stuff. There's awesome stuff. There's stuff that made me go, yeah, this is what cinema's about, baby. Horror is back. Even though horror never left. But, it was never as compelling as the first half. Like I said, that first half was best of the decade. I mean, I was so compelled, interested in these characters. The character arcs were great. And that second half, it was kind of on and off. Like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. And then 3 minutes later, okay, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So about when we entered the second half, I knew that I would have to watch this movie again before I can give a full thought. I didn't even know if I was going to film this video until I watched again, but I decided I need to do it to compare the thoughts on this channel. So like I said, there's some phenomenal stuff in the second half. But when it's weaker, it's much weaker than the first half. There is some definite campy stuff I was not the biggest fan of here. The stuff where, like, literally characters are sitting down being like, okay, these are vampires, there's steaks, there's garlic, you can't, the vampires can't do this. They don't like these things. It was kind of like, you're explaining vampire lore. That's kind of the first scene that I was like, okay, where is this going? And there are some things that just felt way, way too campy for me. Like, this whole thing in the movie where the vampires obviously have to be invited into your home to enter. And I thought it played to that trope very well. But when the movie constantly feels the need to remind us that, yeah, they can't have garlic, they don't like wooden stakes, they can't enter your home without being told you can enter the home, starts to feel a little bit too campy. And so that's the one thing I'd say I really didn't like. The score of this movie was interesting to me, because I'm really hoping I like it more when I see it tomorrow. But, for now, like, it's got this bluegrass theme, but sometimes it turns into metal and, like, heavy guitar. I wasn't so sure what I think of this. Now, given several days to think about it, seeing all the praise on Twitter and Facebook and every account that I have, Instagram, YouTube, seeing all the praise for this movie, I'm hoping that I like the score a little bit more. Score felt a little odd to me. An odd choice. I know it's about music. The whole theme of the movie is music. I don't know. I was a little bit conflicted on the score. And I'll talk more about that in the spoilers section when I fully think about the movie. But there's that, and then there's certain scenes in the movie that I didn't quite know if I liked. It's a big hot take. I know. A certain scene, not going to say it, that everybody is freaking out about. I personally wasn't, like, over the moon about it. I was never like, okay, yeah, this is scene of the year. I was like, okay, interesting enough. Little bit frustrating. The fact that this is a movie that everybody's loving. And then there's me, who's like, I liked it. I liked it a lot. The great stuff is fantastic. But the second half and some of the stuff they do, I'm a little bit conflicted on. So that's where the second watch is coming into tomorrow. And that's where the spoiler review is going to come into, where I'm going to talk more about my thoughts on the entire movie. And I genuinely hope I love the movie more than I loved it this time. But for now, I'm not even going to score it because I don't know. I'm a little bit frustrated by my thoughts here, and it's definitely going to need a second viewing for me. So the spoiler review is coming. That you'll see more thoughts. If you're a little bit frustrated by this review, that I'm not giving a full review, I completely understand. But this is just where I'm at. Where I'm at with my feelings toward this movie is that it needs a second viewing. Then I can have more feelings. Then I can elaborate more on that. So stay tuned for that. I am so happy with all the praise it's getting on social media, though. I mean, this is original filmmaking. I can't name the last time, except Dune Part 2 was the last time, that everybody loved this movie on social media. Everybody was freaking out about this movie, saying that it was 10 out of 10. It's cool to see. I mean, this movie has the best cinema score out of any horror movie, I think, ever. It's making bank at the box office. This is awesome. It's awesome stuff to see. I just hope I can join in a little more on the hype when I see it again tomorrow. So thank you guys for clicking on this video. If you watched the whole thing, thank you for staying with me on this. And stay tuned for a spoiler video of this. We have a big week coming up with Daredevil Born Again stuff, as well as Sinner stuff. So stay tuned for all that. And with that said, subscribe.